begin by congratulating the honourable member for initiating this very important debate. And I agree with many of the sentiments he has said today, and as those of my honourable friend for Suffolk Coastal, who talked about tax incentives for more democracy in football clubs. Football is close to my heart. I'm proud to have a good and strong club in Harlow. I regularly meet with the owner of Harlow Football Club to discuss plans for the club. And it's good to see my club back on track after years of difficulties. And the new management team have some exciting plans, which I am sure will mean a great season. Now, I am a community conservative, and that's why I support moves to cooperative ownership of football clubs and other football institutions. And I believe that we must have a democratic revolution and give fans a greater say in running their local club. As was alluded to by the honourable gentleman, the Conservative pledge was to reform the football governance arrangement so cooperative ownership models can be established by supporters as part of the wider package of reform of football finance and governance. To adapt what Abraham Lincoln famously said of democracy, I hope that our government will give football clubs a new birth of freedom, so that football of the people and by the people for the people shall not perish from the earth. But, Mr. Chairman, the problem is not just with local clubs ignoring their fans. The real obstacle, in my view, is the failed managers, the failed contracts and the failed payouts, some say up to 50-60 million, of the Football Association itself. Some of you will have read my early day motion, number 329, before the recess, which called for the FA board to resign following the England World Cup debacle. I said that that is the time for a democratic revolution led by the fans to transform football governance in our country. At present, the FA board is run like a Byzantine court, where decisions are made like a puff of white smoke appearing from the Vatican rooftops. The Football Association enjoys a virtual monopoly over the sport. It's a semi-public body. Its activities are of great public concern, and the public must have some means of redress. At the moment, the FA board is not democratically accountable to fans. They're not even bureaucratically accountable to any outside body. And that's why I tabled a further parliamentary EDM, 374, calling for a complete overhaul of the way the Football Association is run, one which would make the organisation truly accountable to England fans. There must be a reform of voting rights which would give England supporters the opportunities to have their say on who should be in charge at the FA. If the FA board can be booted out by the fans, then it starts to sit up and listen. And my solution would be the introduction of a paid subscription system, possibly around £50 a year, for England fans to exercise voting rights in the FA. This would be like a cooperative shareholding, but limited to one vote for each person. It would be in the national interest for England fans to vote for the FA board and chairman and to fire them if they do a bad job. Fans could vote for a board and chairman for a 3 or 4 year term. They would also have the right to decide the level of spending on grassroots football and community football and to vote on the annual budget report. Let me be clear, as I've said, I wholeheartedly support our coalition agreement when it speaks of reforming football governance institutions so that cooperative ownership models can be established by supporters. My plea is that the Football Association is included in these reforms and freed from the iron grip of the Premier League. As a Conservative, my hope is that the FA would adopt these reforms voluntarily. Just as the people of this country elect the government, so the fans should have some say over the state of our national game. I want all England fans to be able to say genuinely, we are all in this together, and for this to be backed up with real community power. And enough is enough. If England is to succeed and win a major tournament, we cannot go on as we are. If the FA does not reform itself, then I would urge the Minister to develop a framework for some serious reform.
Mr. Dave Watts.